Mick back again for another installment of the Year in Rewind series. This time we're going to start off with rock albums. So let's start with Thurston Moore and his album of this year, Flow Critical Lucidity. Thurston obviously was part of Sonic Youth, and they certainly provided a background in the 80s and 90s and even into the 2000s for experimental rock music, I guess. This is pretty interesting. He's joined by Deb Googe on bass from My Bloody Valentine, as well as Letitia Sadler, and this is part of the Daydream Library series. Interestingly, you also receive a flexi with this album as well, which is unique. So good to see Thurston back, and we'll see something from Kim Gordon in the experimental thread. You like the Stooges? Don't we all like the Stooges? This is Dope Smoker and Berserk, and this is on the Riot Season label. And this is Proto Stooges Destroy Rockorama. This is got Dope Purple, who are the standard lineup, and then you have Berserk, who's on oscillators and feedback. Recorded a while back in Taipei in 2020, but only got released this year. My first Uncle Astor and the Deadbeats album, and this album is a double album. There's the gatefold there, and it seems it's on Rise Above, which moved from its previous location in London. What we have here is a double album. It's a soundtrack of sorts, but certainly a bit of a change from what I've heard of other Uncle Astor and the Deadbeats, but certainly a move forward and a key release for this year. Okay, next one, difficult for me to pronounce. So it's Oranase Pazuzu. This is a, well, a lot of people would say this is a death metal album, but in reality, it's a psychedelic noise rock album. Nice into there. This is on Nuclear Blast, so you get the picture. It's definitely in the metal sphere, but it's at the edge of this metal sphere. Recommended if you like My Bloody Valentine and the Stooges. Next we have Melt Banana, who are back after forever, and they're on AZAP as well, which is great. Recorded in Tokyo with vocals and lyrics by Yako, and guitar and programming by Agata. More of their crazed out noise rock, 1,000 miles an hour beat, just fantastic. If you like the old Melt Banana, they're still going strong. The Chisel, UK punk rock on Pure Noise Records. Probably the greatest UK punk album in quite a while. Certainly short, sharp, and certainly deals with the interaction of the everyday. A big change up from Chisel here, but what we do have is English Teacher. This Could Be Texas. They're a UK band, and this is indie pop, and it's sweet indie pop, but it's got quite an inventive nature to it. So you can tell it's fresh, and this is their debut album. Certainly parked next to Camera Obscura, if that's what you like. Okay, the Bevis Frond, the Dinosaur Jr. album you have when you don't have a Dinosaur Jr. album. Look, Nick Solomon does some of the best psych rock ever. This is just a further extension of that. Nick Solomon plays guitars, keyboards, sitar, dulcimer, vocals. He gets helped with guitars, bass and drums on this one. But another key addition to the Bevis Frond pantheon. Another double. This time it's from Red Cross. Now, pictures there. We all know Red Cross from their 80s punk roots through their 90s power pops, and this just keeps on keeping on that way. Once again, a double. A lot more rocking power pop than on other occasions, and it's on in the red, so you know it's good. Next up, a little bit of spidery post-punk, and this is Still House Plants. Once again from the UK, and this is the third album of theirs I've got, so I don't really see myself as a major fan, but I obviously am. So it was recorded at Lockdown Studios. Key rock release for 2024. Slift up next with Ilion. This is on Sub Pop. Some great cover art here. And that is the vinyl experience, isn't it? Have a look at this. Slift play their brand of psych rock, and it continues to amaze. So this is a loser edition and came out quite early in the year. Continuing on is with Craig's Hog, and these guys are Japanese hardcore, but they used to be full-on tonal hardcore, but they become tonal hardcore, and this is got a little bit of rock and roll in it. Definitely worth your while to check out. It's called Love and Revenge, this album, and certainly if you like your punk on the harder core side of things, definitely one to examine. Next up, New Heroes of Noise Rock, Chat Pile. Big year for noise rock, and we've got some big ones coming up, but this is Cool World. Comes in indie store exclusive yellow, and more of the same from Chat Pile if you like your noise rock. Next up, we have a bit of a supergroup, and that's the hardcore tag. So this, for people unaware, is Stephen Malkmus, who is in Pavement, Jim White from the Dirty Three, and also we have Matt Sweeney and Emmett Kelly. Once again, a double album. And it sort of sounds like a lost 90s Sonic Youth album, probably around 1,000 leads, but it's a bit more than that, and Jim White's drumming does propel it forward. If you like your indie, it's a key album for this year. More noise rock, and what a year it was. Here's Jesus Lizard returning with Rack. I didn't think we'd see these guys back, and from what I understand, it was took David Sims, Mac Minnelli, and Joanne Dennison to get David Yo across the line when it came to the Jesus Lizard reforming. This is on Silver Streak vinyl, and unusually it's on Ipecac, which makes sense if you understand some of the other bands these people are in. But I would have liked to see it on Touch and Go. But key noise rock for 2024. Okay, indie. A bit of indie. This could have went in my alt country tag, but in the end, I was listening to this just the other day in the car, and I thought, yeah, this is definitely more indie than it is alt country. So here we are. Manning Fireworks by MJ Lindemann. Crucial indie. If you like Pavement with a indie alt country feel, look at this, but it is pushing the genre forward just a little bit. And the lyrics are full of cliches, and I'm just thinking starts off with a little bit of "Come On, Feel the Noise" on one of the tracks, and it is nostalgic, but also is pushing the genre forward, so well worth a look. Certainly, my vote for the most depressing album I heard in 2024. This is Peter Parrott from the Only Ones. Here's his album, The Cleansing. Peter's going into some dark space here as he deals with his potential end of life on the planet. Joined by some fantastic friends in Johnny Marr, Bobby Gillespie, Jim Scavanis, sorry. So he's not alone at all in any of his endeavours or his worries. He certainly seems to have a good friend support network there. Highly recommended if you like Roland S. Howard. You're going to love this album. That's what reminded me of what. Fantastic album. The big one, The Cure. The Cure have always been one of those bands that have been hit and miss with me, but I've certainly ended up grabbing their albums over the period of time that I've been into them. Certainly like their first Key trilogy with Pornography and 17 Seconds. That was fantastic. Then they went a bit poppy and it probably lost me for a little bit, but the Standing on the Beach cassette came with a heap of B-sides, and it just opened my mind to what they were all about. So I stayed listening for that in their canon as they went forward. Anyway, this is my third favourite album of 2024, and certainly deep, dark, long, mournful, and a thoroughly enjoyable album. Looking forward to some new releases next year, which are associated with this. There's the one with the instrumentals, and there's a live one. So I probably need to get them to get the set. So it makes for a bit of a interesting impromptu box set. Okay, that's The Cure. Okay, the next one, number 2, is by Mount Eerie, and it's a double album that came a bit late in the piece, and it's an unusual album cover, isn't it? It's a fold-out poster. I'll do a little bit of it because I don't want to break it, but you get the picture. It's a fantastic read. This is amazing work. Inventive packaging. And not only that, the music's fantastic. It's mainly experimental with a huge indie feel and a little bit of folk, world and country. Certainly a kaleidoscope of sound. And one of this year's key releases, one to get on vinyl if you can. Certainly worth doing that. And finally, we come to number 1. And this year we lost Steve Albini, who was part of Big Black and then moved on to Rape Man and then to Shellac. And this is his final album, To All Trains, which came out basically the week of his death. It was really difficult to find worldwide on Touch and Go. Fortunately for me, I actually made a bit of an effort. Well, more, I happened to be in the record store earlier that week and thought, no, I'll pre-order that just to make sure I get it. Anyway, fantastic album on the bio vinyl, and this is easily the best bio vinyl ever heard, which I suspect is because Bob Weston's been involved and he's part of the Albini gang when it comes to mastering and producing some fantastic albums. So Shellac, To All Trains, my number 1 rock album of the year. Okay, thanks everyone for watching my countdown of the top 20 rock albums of 2024. See you soon.